Okay, guys. Hello, hello. So it's our Tuesday night leader call. I'm so excited to have you guys on tonight. I know we're all very fired up to be hearing from Kate because, let's be for real, I share her YouTube videos all the time because I adore her and she's crushing it, okay? And the cool thing about Kate is that she's so real. That's the thing that I really love. And she's open to sharing, what's working with her and her business, which is a beautiful thing about coaching. So I'm going to go through a couple stats, you guys. 15 months of coaching, okay? So she's only been a coach for 15 months. That's less than a year and a half. That's crazy, but she's 15 months into coaching, 7-star diamond in her first business center. She's 3-star in her second business center. We've talked about how, if you are 5-star in one and 2-star in the other, how you get those bonuses. So she's definitely cashing in on those bonuses. Goals, guys. Former teacher. She was a 2019 elite coach, meaning she earned it last year. SC10 All-Star legend. She's retiring her husband already from law enforcement by the end of the month. That's amazing, you guys. By the end of the month, that is so exciting. And I know we have quite a few people on here who have husbands in law enforcement as well. So that's real life. And then this is probably one of my favorite ones. Her and her team are currently number 7 in the entire network, you guys. Currently number 7. I remember I've been watching, the leaderboards for however many years. And when I saw her and Ashley pop in there, they're two of my favorites. And I was like, yes, go girls, because I know that they're crushing it. And that doesn't happen without hard work, you guys. And I know Kate's not afraid to share how hard she works. So I asked her, I said, okay, I just want you to simplify it. Share with us your process. How are you bringing people, how are you adding to your network? Because quite a few of you guys have come to me and said, I'm done with my warm market. What do I do? How do I grow my cold market? And I've been in my cold market for so freaking long, you guys, so many years. And I'm like, I don't know, because I've just been growing mine for so long. So it'll be good for you guys to hear from someone who's in the process right now too, right? Going through the cold market, how she's making her connections, how she's doing her invites, and how she's doing her follow-ups. So Kate, without further ado, I'm going to hand it right over to you.
Yay! I'm so excited. I'm going to say exactly what Meg said on our call last night, that even though those accolades are amazing, I'm a normal person that worked really hard. And for those of you that know my story, I was a burned out teacher who was overweight and just had a burn in her belly to be a part of something more. And now here we are today. So I will just touch on my story a little bit because I think it's super key into how to invite and how to add to your network, or at least my mindset on it, because that's how I came into this business, was being invited. So when I moved to California, Curtis and I moved to California when we were just out of college, so almost 3 years ago. And we came to California with this big dream and we're going to move to California and be adults and it's going to be amazing. And it was the worst thing ever. It was the worst decision. We should have just stayed in college. But we graduated and went to move on to California, where I was the only one that had a job. So Curtis was trying to get into the Orange County Sheriff's Department, which is arguably one of the hardest academies in the country. It's one of the only ones that still has a high stress academy, so high physical and mental stress on purpose. And it takes about 6 or 9 months to get hired. So I was teaching my first year teaching position in the projects of East LA. And I had a class of 36. So 36 first graders from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And very quickly I got burned out, to say the least. I also stopped completely taking care of myself. I ended up gaining about 30 pounds in 6 months. I had never really had an issue with needing to lose weight or had an issue with gaining weight because I had always been active growing up. I hated the gym, absolutely hated it. I actually worked at the gym in college. And so the gym was the place I worked, not the place I hung out at. And so my undergrad degree is actually in athletic training. So I was around college athletes all the time. I was always in the gym. helping them with rehab. And then I worked like the front desk at the gym. So you would not catch me dead working out because I was like, I've already been at this place way too long. But I had always been active. So I was a dancer. I actually went to college for dance first before I got hurt. I, was in sports in high school. I played intramural sports throughout college, super into like hiking and doing more like outdoors activities, but just wasn't really a fitness person is what I told myself. Like I wasn't like the word fit totally freaked me out. So even to this day, I always say I'm fit-ish. Like I don't like to say I'm fit because your girl loves, pizza and ice cream and McDonald's McFlurries, which is currently what I am craving. So, and I'm honest about that on my social media. So you guys are going to hear more about that too. But when I, went down this cycle of burnout with teaching in my first year, I had my master's degree. So I was the only one to have my master's degree in my school. So I was writing the reading curriculum. I was a first year teacher. I was commuting an hour and a half one way. So 3 hours a day in the car. And just totally stopped taking care of myself. So I went to the doctor February of 2017. And when I went there, she told me like, Kate, you need to lose like 25 to 30 pounds. For reference, I'm not tall. I'm like 5'4". So 25 or 30 pounds is a lot for me. And so when she told me that, I was just like devastated. Like I had never been told I needed to lose weight before, except for like, your mom's like always in your ear, like you should work out more. You should like take care of yourself. I'm like, Mom, you're really just calling me fat. Like stop telling me to go to the gym. But she's doing it out of love. But when that doctor told me that, like I just lost it. It was the first time that I had actually kind of let someone see how broken I was. I was burned out in a job that I was starting to resent, this career that I dreamed of, that I thought I was going to change the world in, that I thought I was going to have an amazing impact on other lives. I started to resent and hate going to every single day. I was spending 3 hours in the car in LA traffic. I got rear-ended that year and it was just like, it was just horrible. It was a horrible year. Curtis had just gotten in the academy. So we were like finally kind of like on the up. But we were $10,000 in credit card debt because let's be honest, first year teaching salary in California was not paying the bills. And we were really, really struggling. But I am very type A. I'm a red personality. On the Enneagram, I'm a 1. So I am a perfectionist to a T. And I can't let people see my weakness. That is like my, it's very hard for me to be vulnerable. I feel like I have to hold it together for everyone else. I feel like I need to take care of everyone else. I'm very critical and hard on myself. And that day I just lost it in the doctor's office. And I'm surprised she did not admit me into psych because I was a crazy person. But when I left, she gave me the basic advice of focus on your nutrition and go work out. And I was like still in my head, like, what does that even mean? Like, what steps do I actually need to take to do that? So I felt very discouraged and lost when I left that doctor's office. And she also, it wasn't just like a weight thing, which I think is important to note. It was, my dad's side of the family has a very high history of heart disease. So my grandpa died before the age of 60 of a heart attack. My uncle died 6 years ago before the age of 60 of a heart attack. My dad had a 99% blockage in his coronary artery when I was student teaching about 4 years ago and had heart surgery. Now he does like half marathons and drinks Shakeology and is a total rock star. And then my other uncle, about a month into coaching, had a massive heart attack and was in the ICU for like 2 months. But he's made a full recovery. So heart disease and heart attacks and high cholesterol and high blood pressure and all that scary stuff is very prevalent in my health history. So the doctor was more concerned with like the fact I was putting way too much pressure on my heart and way too much pressure on my health than really like aesthetically pleasing attributes. So I left that doctor's office like so discouraged. But for some reason that day, I read the patient summary form, which I never read. If you guys are like nurses or doctors, like, I'm sorry, but I never read those things. They always get thrown in the trash or like between the console and the seat of my car where all the fast food receipts go. And But for some reason that day I read it and it said, find a new job. The commute isn't good for you. And that was just like this moment of like, first of all, the doctor actually listened to me because she, took the time to say like, this is a part of your story that isn't working for you. And it's not only, putting a strain on you, but it's putting a strain on your health. You need to find a new job. And so being the type A person I am, not wanting to show weakness, I make jokes when I'm uncomfortable. So I called Curtis and I said, hey babe, I have a doctor's note to quit my job. And I swear he probably almost like killed over and died because he was like, please, dear God, do not quit your job right now. But we did make the decision to start looking for a different position at a different school to see if it'd make a difference. Because I wasn't ready to give up on teaching yet, because everyone says your first year's hard. So I thought this was just my hard and I would just need to go to a different school and try it somewhere else. But at that same time, I started scrolling on Instagram. I started looking at, hashtag FitFam, hashtag fitness motivation, hashtag, getting healthy, like all these different hashtags, the explore pages. I'm not pretty sure. I know I made a fitness Instagram like back in the day. I'm pretty sure it's still up there somewhere, where I was like, I'm going to post on here and hold me accountable. I had like no followers, but like I was going to go to the gym and post a sweaty selfie. And one day I came across my coach Ashley's transformation picture. And at the time she had lost 30 pounds and now she's lost like 55. She looks incredible. But at the time she had lost 30 pounds. And I remember looking at that picture and saying like, dang, I look like her on the left and I want to look like her on the right. And more so just like how happy she was and like how like she just looked so good, and so healthy. And all I did was double tap it. I didn't comment on the picture. I didn't go to the link in her bio and fill out her form. I didn't vote on a poll on her stories. I didn't even follow her, you guys. I didn't reach out. All I did was like her picture, okay? And I kept scrolling. I found her on like a hashtag or the explore page or something, but I wasn't following her. But I did like her picture, okay? So remember that. The next day, she was in my inbox with an invite. Hey, thanks for the love on my post yesterday. I really love sharing my journey with others. I'm getting a couple girls ready to start my new challenge group. Would you be interested? And I was like, hold on a sec. This is that girl that posted that picture that I saw yesterday, and I remember liking it. So I asked her about the information. I was definitely the person that was like, oh, like I'm doing BBG. Guys, I had the freaking PDFs for BBG and never even used them. But like I was determined to use them. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing BBG. I wasn't actually doing them. And then she was telling me all about it. I was like, hey, what's the catch? And she was like, there's no catch. Like it's $140. This is what you get. And I was like, okay, sign me up. That was probably like the easiest 2 successful points she ever got. I was signed up within an hour. But about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks later, I quit. So I canceled my Shakeology. I called Beachbody and was like, cancel my bod. And they were like, you already paid for it through September. And I was like, I don't care. I don't want it. Just cancel it. I don't care. Like I did not want access to it. I was like, this is dumb. Like at-home workouts don't work. Shakeology is an overpriced protein shake. I don't have time to work out. I don't have money to meal prep. Like I'm not seeing results fast enough. All these excuses that we hear constantly, all the time, probably from challengers that we've had in our challenge group. And when really I wasn't engaged in a program, I was like bouncing around to different ones on BOD. Ashley actually took the time out of her day to sit down with me one-on-one on Zoom and build a meal plan with me. It's when she used to do that for her clients. And I like wasn't following it like at all. And I just totally like didn't even try, but I said, this isn't going to work for me. Right. So I was just like not in the right. I just feel like I was in this mindset of like fight or flight for so long where I was just like, I need to lose these 25, 30 pounds. And I need to lose it tomorrow. So I was addicted to quick fixes. I didn't want to really like commit. I really wasn't ready to dive all in and really focus on myself, I do believe in divine timing. And I do believe that, some people just aren't ready yet. But I share that part of my story because I quit, like straight up canceled my accounts. The funny part is that Beachbody actually didn't cancel my discount coach account. And I didn't notice until I signed up as a coach 9 months later. So I was paying the $16 fee for 9 months and not even noticing it. But that is just like a funny little fact. So I watched my coach for 9 months. So I had canceled my account, wasn't in her challenge groups, wasn't doing anything. But I typed in her name every single day on Instagram and watched her stories. I typed in her name every day on Instagram and looked to see what she posted today because she was so flipping inspiring and she brought so much value to my life. And I felt like she was one of my best friends. And really she was. Like, you guys, it's so embarrassing. And I'm like, I don't even know how she put up with me. But like anytime I'd go try like something else, like, oh, I'm doing this cleanse that wasn't Beachbody, or like I have this personal trainer, I'm going to this gym, or I'm trying this, I would text her about it. Cause I was like, Ashley's my fitness person. Like, I didn't even think that like she's the Beachbody person and she's my fitness person. And she would always say, I'm so glad you're finding something that works for you. I'm so glad you're finding something that works for you. I can't wait to see how it goes for you. And she was so genuine about it. Like, it wasn't snarky, it wasn't sassy, but she had so much patience and she just had this belief that this thing was changing her life and I would either come around or I wouldn't, and that was okay. But she was there for me. She was, building trust with me. She was still engaging with me on Instagram. She always reminded me that I could always jump back into her boot camps if I wanted to. She would kind of like put this bug in my ear. I remember she did it about Summit one time. She's like, I'm taking a bunch of my girls to New Orleans. Like, you should come with me. And I was like, how are you taking people to New Orleans? Like, that's weird. Like, why would I just go with you? Not even realizing it was Summit. But she, was always kind of like breadcrumbing the opportunity. So fast forward to December of 2017, where I was in a new job. I actually was teaching just east of Compton, over the railroad tracks, in southeast LA, middle school literacy specialist. I was coaching middle school basketball. I was just recently engaged. So I, was super motivated to lose the weight for the wedding. Still exactly where I was at the previous February. Nothing I had tried over those 9 months had worked because I was addicted to quick fixes. And I was kind of in this point of like acceptance, like this was just what my life was going to look like. Like I was just going to always like, this is just how it's meant to be. But I remember on December 1st of 2017, I just looked around my classroom at lunch and I just thought like, this is it. Like, I'm 24 years old and this is going to be my life for the rest of my life. Like, I'm going to always feel uncomfortable in my skin. I'm going to always feel like, I'm always going to feel like I'm hiding in pictures, or I'm always going to feel like I'm just this shell of myself because all I was a teacher. I was, like live or die by the freaking grade book. Like, so burned out. I didn't have anything for myself. Curtis had just graduated the academy, so he was now on with the sheriff's department, and I just needed to be a part of something more. And more than anything, I needed to get healthy. So it's the weirdest thing, and I can't even explain it to you guys, but I remember looking around my classroom, and I just thought, I'm going to be a Beachbody coach. Like, it was so weird. I had not talked to Ashley in like months, like a month and a half probably. And I was just like, Ashley used to be a teacher. She like gets really good results. She's stuck with it this whole time. Like, she's still there doing it. So there's something about it that works. And I know that I can't show up for myself. Only I need to show up for other people in order to hold myself accountable to even like get out of bed to work out. So I texted Ashley that day and was like, tell me about this coaching thing and don't BS me. Like, is it actually legit? Do you actually make money? I think I want to do it because I want to lose the weight, but I know I won't stick to it if I'm not a coach because I know I need to have other people relying on me. She told me all the details and I went to sign up, and that's when we realized I was still a coach. And so I just like bought my Shakeology, reactivated my bod, and, did it on an almost maxed out credit card. So that's when people tell me like they don't have enough money to sign up as a coach. I'm like, yeah, neither did I. But I had like $200 on my credit card, and I was like, well, might as well try this. Now we have no credit card debt. So it's like, it's insane what a $160 investment can do for your life, right? Like, it's just crazy. That's another tangent for another time. But ever since then, I've just like been all in with my journey. I've lost the 30 pounds that the doctor said I needed to lose, but also like more than anything, I just like took back my health. Like I took back, it's not even about what I lost. It's like how much I've gained. Like I've gained so many friendships. I've gained my health. I've gained like just, so many benefits from this opportunity and this gift. So, my job's to share that with other people, and I'm going to tell you guys about that tonight. So I'm going to talk to you guys about 4 things. So how I grow my tribe, or how I find my tribe, how I connect with them, how I invite them, and how I follow up. So number 1 is growing your tribe. So when I started, I had 500 followers on Instagram. I had like a teacher Instagram. I don't know if any of you are teachers, but like there's this like weird teacher cult on Instagram where like everyone has a teacher Instagram and you like share lesson plans and materials, and teachers have like 100,000 followers just because they share their lesson plans. It's like the weirdest thing. Seriously, so weird. It's a cult. But I had a teacher Instagram. I was Lipstick and Literacy was my alias. Then I became Lunges in Literacy. And I just started sharing from day 1. So the way I grew my Instagram then is not how you can grow your Instagram today. So Instagram has changed so much even over the last 15 months. I used to use the app Captivate. Don't write that down because it doesn't work anymore. It was not like a service, but it was an app where you could like find people and like load people into your queue, and it would follow people for you every 60 seconds. So like you wouldn't have to do that work during the day. But Instagram has changed all of its security and doesn't let you use any third-party tools. So I do not recommend using a service. I have tried Jumper Media before. My account disappeared twice, and it was terrifying. It actually disappeared on my birthday at Leadership was the first time. My account was totally gone. Had to get it back, and then it disappeared again when I was on my way to a retreat in November because of the security features. So using a service doesn't work. A third-party service doesn't work anymore because of Instagram's service. And I am, just so you guys know, talking more about Instagram because that's where I grow my business. But now, the way I've been growing my business probably like this entire year, since at least January, maybe even since November when I stopped using like Captivate or Jumper, anything like that, has been through just like organic growth. And it's a little bit slower. Yeah, Melissa, I wouldn't use like Cleaner. You can use Cleaner to like see if people are following you or not, but I wouldn't use Cleaner to create the actions. But I would even hesitate to even have Cleaner linked to your Instagram because IG is just cracking down on crazy stuff. So right now, and for the last few months, I have been really focused on organic growth. And what I'm saying is like, it is slow. I will say like the growth is a lot slower than using a third-party tool, but it's way more authentic. Your engagement's going to get higher and you're going to find more of your people. Remember that it's not followers that matter, it's engagement. Okay. So like, if you guys like go look at people's pages, there will be like mommy bloggers that have like 50,000 followers and they're getting like 20 likes on a photo. So that's where you can kind of tell like their followers aren't really their tribe. It's not just algorithms. It's like their followers just aren't their people or their fake followers. So you really want to focus more on engagement, but you also want to get followers that are your tribe so you can have people to invite to your stuff. So I use location tags. I feel like location tags are super, super helpful, not only to attract people to your post, but to find people. So I live in Goodyear, Arizona. We just moved here a couple weeks ago. We moved into our dream house, which is like so nice. Like I actually have a real office and I'm like, so giddy about it. But I live in Goodyear, Arizona, and then our community is Estrella Mountain Ranch. So I'm tagging in my post Goodyear, Arizona, Estrella Mountain Ranch, because if anybody goes to those tags on Instagram, they're going to see my posts because they're tagged in that location. You could even do like any surrounding cities. So if you're like in a really small town, I'm from a really small town, like 13 blocks wide. There's only one stoplight. My stepdad's the mayor by default because nobody else ever wants to run. Like really small town. So like I wouldn't necessarily tag Meeker, Colorado because like no one's ever going to look at that tag. But I would tag maybe like Grand Junction, Colorado, or like a bigger city, even like Denver, or like surrounding cities in Denver. If you live in like San Diego, you could tag San Diego, or you could tag San Clemente or La Jolla, like different surrounding cities. If I was, living in Goodyear, I could also tag Phoenix or Scottsdale or Buckeye, or just like surrounding cities, right? Especially also if you're like weird about like not wanting people to know what city you live in, tag like a different city, but like are in your area, so you can kind of still try to find your tribe around you. But not only like relying on those for people to come to your page, but use those to go find people. So I like to click on the Goodyear, Arizona or the Goodyear, Arizona location tag and go and like look through them to find people that I want to follow or to find people that I want to bring to my page. So maybe I'll go to Goodyear, Arizona, and I'll find like some girl that tagged, her picture from Easter. And then not only am I going to follow her, but maybe I go to some of her followers because most likely they're probably living around Goodyear, Arizona, or, doing stuff like that. So that's super helpful and a really good way to find people, even if it's like your state or even like a state that you're interested in or you have lived before. Like I'll go to different cities in Orange County in California and look for people there because we have something in common, that we both used to live in Orange County, or I used to live in Orange County and they live there now. So, you're kind of finding people like that have stuff in common with you. And then hashtags. So this is like everybody's question is hashtags all the time. Like, do hashtags actually work? Is shadow banding real? How many can I use? Like all these things. And I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you what's working for me. There's an app called Smart Hash, and all it does is help you find similar, I'll type it in the chat so you guys, Smart Hash. It just helps you find similar hashtags and create like a set of them. So if you put like hashtag fitness, it's going to show you similar hashtags to hashtag fitness. And remember, you don't want to use hashtags that have like over 1 million posts in them. And a good way to find this is like, if I was to type in, even if you just go to Instagram, okay, and then you go to your search bar and you go to tags and you do like hashtag fitness. Okay, so hashtag fitness motivation is the first thing that comes up, and it's 62.8 million posts. Your post is never going to be seen on there, okay? So like if I was to go to these posts, it tells you like how many minutes or seconds ago it was posted. So this is like 4 seconds ago, 10 seconds ago, 13 seconds ago. Like people are posting like every couple seconds when using this hashtag. So people are never going to be able to find you. But if I use the hashtag, like hashtag stop dieting, okay, it has like 21,000 posts. But if I go to the recent, the last one was posted 33 minutes ago. So like that's pretty good. Like that's half an hour ago that someone used that hashtag. So 33 minutes ago, an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So people are using the hashtag, but it's not like one every couple seconds where your stuff will never get seen on them. So like you guys, hashtag is like a research project. Like it's literally, you have to just like try different hashtags and figure out if they're working. And Smart Hash like helps you find related hashtags. And then what you can do is if you go to your post that you post your hashtags on, and you can post them in the comments or in the caption. I found that they work both. So I posted like this transformation picture like a week ago. If you have a business profile, you can click view insights and this bar pops up and you can swipe up And under like discovery, it says discovery, and then it has like where you're getting your engagement from. It says from home, from profile, from other, from hashtags. It's telling me that over 6,000 impressions have been from my hashtags. So that tells me that those hashtags I used on that post are working, because over 6,000 of the impressions, which means like people that saw the post, are coming from the hashtags. So that's how you can kind of see if hashtag sets are working. Sometimes, and I know Smart Hash actually can do that for you. I don't know how to use Smart Hash for that, but I just use my insights on Instagram. But sometimes I'll post a hashtag set and it's like 13 impressions from hashtags. So like that hashtag set maybe didn't work. And I always recommend just using up to 30, because Instagram gives us 30 hashtags to use. Just make sure that they're like relevant to your post. You don't want to be like, or like relevant to your profile. Like you don't want to put something random that has nothing to do with like your profile or the post or your brand, because that's when, quote unquote, there's that risk to be shadow banned, because it's like people using broken hashtags for spam. So I can't even think of an example. Like if I was like not a teacher, if I was like a doctor and I use like hashtag teachers pay teachers, like that's kind of weird. Like it doesn't relate anything to my brand or my post. So that's where like Instagram can kind of shadow ban you and you won't be seen on any hashtags at all. And I've been shadow banned before and it sucks. And you have to like stop using hashtags for like 2 weeks and all this crazy stuff. But so hashtags are a good way to, I think hashtags are a good way to attract people. I don't necessarily think they're a good way to find people, especially if you're using like fitnessy hashtags, because fitness people use fitness hashtags, right? People that aren't into fitness, they're looking at the hashtags. They're not using them. So people will find you through those hashtags, but people aren't going to be using them for you to find them, if that makes sense. Christy, there's so many different opinions, but if you're not showing up on hashtags, like if you hashtag like Arizona Life and you don't see your post on Arizona Life, there's a chance that you're shadow banned. It just kind of depends. And you just need, all you need to do is take a break from hashtags. Okay, so another way that you can find your people is going to friends of friends. So this is how I've grown my network a lot. It actually started with Curtis. I was like, Curtis has a lot of cute girls that follow him from high school and college, so I'm going to go follow them. And so I actually went to his account, went to all these girls that I thought would like be a part of my tribe, followed them, and then like go to their friends and follow their friends, and then go to their friends and follow their friends. And I kind of go down like this whole like following their friends, keeping in mind that you can only follow like up to like 40, 50 people in an hour on Instagram before it blocks you from doing anything for like a while. So don't do like a ton at one time. But it's been really good because not only are you finding like normal people, like I don't care if they're a private profile or not, because I was a private profile before too. You're finding like normal people that aren't already, doing a business or in their health and fitness journey necessarily, or like at least not sharing it. But you're finding people that like have followers in common with you because these people are following you back. So then when they go to your profile, they're like, who's this random person trying to follow me? They go to your profile and it says like also followed by, and it's like all these people that are on their friends list. So they're like, oh, she must be fine because all my other friends follow her. And so I've actually met like really fun people where it's been like, actually, I think I had a class with you in college. Like, were you like in so-and-so's class? And I was like, oh, crap. Yeah, I was. And so it's like really funny because it's like, we have these things in common, even though we might not know each other, but then like we end up finding out different things about each other. So that's a really good way to find people. And then also the no follow method. So this only works for public profiles, so it can be a little bit harder. Especially because so many people have private profiles these days. But what you can do, if you don't want to follow people, you can go to someone's page and you can just blow up their notifications by liking their pictures and commenting on their stuff, and then maybe watch their stories and comment back to their stories, like message them in their stories like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Do you have a recipe? And that will cause them to see your page on their stuff without you following them, and then they might follow you back. So it works. It just takes a little bit more time. But I always say, like, at least carve out 30 minutes of your time. Like, I know most of you guys probably have full-time jobs, but even if I was still a teacher, this is super crucial to just spend like 30 minutes growing your Instagram. Just spend 30 minutes of like engagement, growing your Instagram, finding your tribe. And if you do that 30 minutes a day forever, like, you're going to get a really, not only like a good following, but just like a really good tribe and like really good community in your Instagram. Okay, so that was like the longest tip, because I feel like there's so much that goes into like social media and like adding to your network. I personally didn't listen to my coach and didn't tap into my warm market at first because I was scared of them, scared, for lack of a better word, shitless. Because I was from such a small town where I was like, I don't want to ask them to be my boot camp because they are so judgmental, and I have like all these perceived notions of them. And I just was like, I'm not going to touch my warm market. So I actually chose to grow the crap out of my cold market in order to build my business, because I was not about my warm market life, until I saw people in my warm market go sign up with other coaches, and I missed out on them. And that was like a dagger in the stomach. And then I started tapping into my warm market. So don't do that. Just go into your warm market. Just lean into the fear, because it is so much worse when you come across your Instagram and the girl you went to high school with signed up with a different coach, and then you message her and she's like, yeah, I saw your post and you're so inspirational, and I was actually looking into Beachbody and she reached out to me at the right time. I'm like, dang it, like, you could have been mine. But it happens, and the people that are meant to be with you are meant to be with you, and the people that are meant to be with other coaches are meant to be with them. But don't just rely on your cold market, and don't just rely on your warm market either. Okay, so when it comes to connecting with people, I'm doing that every single day through my posts and through my stories. So I truly feel like if you are being your authentic self and you are showing up every day on your social media as you and your whole self, people are going to feel like they know you. Right? Like, we all have those people we follow on Instagram and I'm like, she's my best friend, she doesn't even know it. Because like, we feel like we know them because they're showing up on their stories and being their weird selves. Like, I always do like a dancing video, like getting my Energize ready. And like, people think it's so funny, and I'm just like so weird. I just almost broke my chair, I think. Oh, that's a little weird. Hopefully I don't just like fall out of the screen. But I like be you, and don't be afraid to be yourself, because that's how you're going to find your people. And so make sure that, you're showing up in your truth, and like, not just Beachbody. Like, you're not just a Beachbody coach. You are so much more. Like, maybe you are a mom and you have mom life, or like, I have dogs, so I post about my dogs all the time. Or maybe you just bought a home and so you're sharing about your home. Or maybe you were like me, where my life is so boring and I literally story from the same place every single day, and I don't even know why people still watch me. But I like come up with random thoughts that I'm like, would you guys rather, like, do you guys like ketchup or mustard more? Like, put up a poll and see. You're probably going to get hundreds of poll votes on ketchup or mustard, and you'll get like 0 on your fitness ones. It's just weird how that works. But like, you have to like be you and all of you. You can't just be a Beachbody coach. You can't just be a mom. You can't just be all these things, because you're not just those things. You're made up of so much more. So make sure that you're being yourself. Make sure that you're sharing all of your life. And make sure when you're connecting with people. So I spend time, like I said, during that like 30 minutes of growth and like adding to my network, is when I spend time like engaging with other people. If we want engagement on our page, we have to engage with other people. So I actually saw this on an Instagram training and thought it was genius. But you know how like we have our stories up here, and these are like the people we most frequently watch. If you guys scroll like all the way to the back, those are all people that you don't see their stories very often, or you don't see their content, which means they're probably not seeing yours. So what I like to do is I like to watch their stories from the back. And I like to, like, if I'm watching her story and, she didn't really have anything interesting. But if like I'm watching someone's story and there's something interesting or something I connect to, I'm going to send her a message. So like I said, with like there was a girl posted about this salsa. I was like, it was like homemade salsa. And I was like, can you send me the recipe? And I'm doing this authentically. So I'm not like coming up with something out of the blue to connect with them with. I'm doing this like authentically without the intention of sending an invite. So this is like where I think it's really, really crucial. And this is where I'm going to go kind of into inviting, is connect with people and use social media as a social media platform without the intention of ever sending them an invite. Like, you may never send them an invite. Just like have the intention of connecting with them on a real like homegirl level, instead of just like, I'm going to connect with this person so that in 2 weeks I can send them an invite. Because like that's where I think a lot of MLMs get bad raps, right? I think there's just, yeah, I'm going to go into that in a second. But this is where I'm really passionate about this, because, all right, we're going on to number 3, which is inviting. I think that you need to invite the way you want to be invited. So there are so many different ways to invite, okay? There are so many different inviting trainings. I could sit here and tell you, like, this is how I do it. And then someone else could tell you a different way they do it. I think you need to just do what feels good to you and what feels authentic to you and what you feel like you can connect to people the most, okay? But I am going to tell you what works for me and how I found my people doing this and the mindset I've had around it. So first of all, I don't care how you invite, you just need to do it. Like, you just need to find a way that feels good to you and invite. Because you guys, what we have to offer is a gift. And whether it's changed your life yet, or, you know, maybe it's in the process of changing your life, or you've seen someone else get their life changed from what we have to offer, you have an amazing gift that has the ability to change lives. And when you have that like deep belief in that, then other people's opinions, rejection, all these other things that maybe you're afraid of when you're inviting, like, it doesn't matter. Because if you could send one message that changed the course of someone's life, would you send 100? I would. Like, if I just had one person, if one person's life could be changed by this opportunity, I would tell everybody about it. And that's just the mindset you have to have about inviting. Also, you have to like not feel weird about it. Like, there was a power hour by Julie Voris on the Beach by Champions page. And she was like, someone asked like, what do you say to not be weird? And she was like, are you weird? Like, are you weird in real life? Like, do you talk weirdly or say weird things? Like, maybe a little bit, because we're all a little weird, but like, just be normal. Like, you're just like overthinking it. Like, just talk to them like a human being. Like, it's not, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? I have a diamond coach. She's actually going to go into 3-star qual this week. I sent her an invite. And then the next day I sent her the exact same invite 24 hours later. Which is like not a good thing, but I like didn't see that I had sent her the last one. I just like wasn't paying attention. So the exact same invite, copy and pasted word for word within 24 hours of each other. And she's now almost 3-star on my team. Okay. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Like, definitely don't try to do that, but like also just like move on from it if it happens, because you never know. Like, maybe they are your next rock star coach. And it happens to everyone. I've called a dude a girl before. I've been like, hey, girl. And he's like, you know, I'm a guy, right? I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe your profile picture just threw me off because there's a boy and a girl in profile picture. So, like, you're going to make mistakes, and, like, you just have to learn to laugh about them. It's just, like, super funny stories, okay? But you have to just remember that you have a gift, and your Instagram is your storefront. Okay. If people are coming to your Instagram to get value from you, like, they're coming to your Instagram for a reason. No one is holding a gun to their head saying you need to follow Kate Scholtes. Like, you have to, or like the world's going to end. Like, no, they clicked that follow button. They're the ones watching my stories. They're the ones liking my posts. Obviously there's something here that they enjoy. And I think about it like if you were to walk into Old Navy or like a store, if you're like walking into a store, someone's going to come up to you and say like, hey, can I help you with anything? Can I help you find anything? You know, they're going to ask you if they can help you. Like, I think of it the same way on our Instagrams. Like, it's our job to figure out if we can help our followers or we can help the people engaging in our content with anything that they see on our page. If not, no big deal. Just thought I'd ask, because you never know. So like I said, invite the way you want to be invited, and then have this mindset around inviting that it's a gift. And it is not your job to make someone's decision for them. It's your job to offer this to them, okay? So with inviting, and this was something that I really struggled with in the beginning of coaching, because it was so different from like trainings I had seen or people had told me to do, but it didn't feel, what I was being told to do didn't feel authentic to me. So I had to find what felt real to me. So I personally believe that if someone's watching my stories, liking my content, or following me, they're going to get an invite from me. And I think of it in a way that, like, they're like my lukewarm market, right? Like, I don't really know them in person, and maybe I've never talked to them before, but if I'm showing up authentically on social media, then I feel comfortable sending them an invite because they're watching my stories every dang day. Like, they've got to be interested in something, and it's my job to figure it out. So I send them an invite. I am not going to go to their page and, ask them like what kind of dog they have, and then try and like put that into a conversation to like somehow invite them. Because for me, that just feels weird. Like, I just can't do that. It doesn't feel authentic to me. So I just go straight in with the invite. I go right in, I get to the point, because that's what I would like someone to do for me. So if I had someone that sold like hair product, I would rather them say like, hey girl, like, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I don't know if you'd be interested, but I saw you like commenting on my stuff or watching my stories. I'm actually giving out free samples for this thing, or I just wanted to talk to you about this product, blah, blah, blah. I would personally be way more accepting of finding out more information than if someone were to come to me and say like, oh my gosh, girl, I love your dogs. What kind are they? I'm like, why does this person randomly want to know what kind of dogs I have? And then I go to their page and I figure out that they sell something. So my brain, and I'm also very like passive aggressive, kind of aggressive sometimes, my brain immediately goes to, this person just wants to get to know me to sell me something. Block. Like, I'm like, no, don't spam me. So I would rather just ask someone straight up, like, hey, I don't know if you've seen in my stories, which hopefully they have because they've been watching my stories every day, or maybe they haven't. And me saying, I don't know if you've seen in my stories, but they're liking my pictures and they're following me, makes them go watch my stories. I say like, I don't know if you've seen my stories, but I'm enrolling for my Fitish Fit Club and just wanted to reach out to see if it's something you'd want to do with us. That's pretty much it. That's what my invite says. Like, something I'd say in person. I have way better reactions from people and like my people, because I kind of just like went straight to the point instead of trying to beat around the bush, instead of trying to like connect with them. I know that there's been a lot of people that have been like, hurt in the past because someone was like building this relationship with them, and maybe it didn't feel super authentic, and then randomly one day they like asked them to buy something. And I know that how that can feel, and so I don't ever want to make someone feel like that. I want them to come to my page and feel like they're a part of a community, and I want to engage with them all the time if they want to engage with me. But I'm not going to engage with them with the purpose of sending them an invite. I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm still connecting with people and like building relationships, but without the purpose of trying to get them in my challenge groups. It's like totally separate. So the way I invite is the notebook method. And so if you guys went to Super Saturday, I talk about this, but I don't even have a notebook by me. But I just have a notebook, and this is what I did when I was a teacher. I just fold the page in half, and there's usually 31 lines on a college ruled notebook. So I write 1 through 31 and then 32 through 62. And when I was a teacher and I was busy, I was waking up at 4 a.m., working out, was leaving the house by 6, teaching all day till like 5:30, and then working my business. I knew that if I could not get anything done, I filled up a page of invites. I would talk to 62 people and offer this gift to 62 people that followed me, or watching my stories, or engaging in my pictures and like liking my photos. These are never invites to people that don't follow me, right? Never invites to people that have never seen my stuff before. So that was what I did. I just filled up a notebook with 62 invites every single day. And when my head hit the pillow, I felt like I did everything I could in order to drive my business forward. You know, I was also showing up on social media and focused on getting results, but inviting is, I think, the most important action that you can do in order to drive your business forward. So I just use the notebook method. And then number 4, when it comes to like follow-ups and re-inviting. So if someone responds that they are interested in more information in my notebook, all I do, like I keep it so simple, you guys. All I do is circle them or highlight them or whatever. And then either at the end of the day or at the end of the week, I input them into my Google Streak as I sent them more info. So I only track people that I am sending info to. I'm not tracking people that I just sent an invite to, because I was just spending way too much time tracking and not enough time like doing the income building activities. And then if they ghost you, so say that they don't respond to your invite, but they're still watching your stories every day, and you see that like the next month they're still watching your stories, but they didn't respond to your last invite, I send them another invite, and I count that as one of my 62. Because there have been times where I have invited, and obviously the invite's different, hopefully, and I change it, and maybe it's like, I am saying something like, hey, I don't know if last month was like not the right time for you, or I say like, girl, I know like the summer was crazy, so I just wanted to reach back out. One of my coaches is saying, hey, I didn't hear back from you. So she kind of calls them out where it says like, they saw the message. So she says like, hey, I didn't hear back from you, but I wanted to reach out again and see if you'd be interested, because they're still watching our stories. They're still liking our posts. There's been times where I've invited someone literally every month for 9 months and she never responded. And I'm not joking. On the 10th month, she's like, yeah, send me more info. I'm like, are you kidding me? And this has happened multiple times. And my thought process is literally, they're going to either block me, they're going to tell me to stop contacting them, or they're going to ask for more info. And like, I don't really know which one it's going to be, but it's a kind of fun game to find out. But you just like, you can't give up on people. Like if they're still watching you and they're still engaging in your content, like they obviously like you for a reason. They're probably just scared, or they're just like not, they're like me, where I wasn't in the right mindset to really dive into something yet. And that also goes with like people that say no. Don't, please, dear God, do not be the person that says like, okay, no problem, let me know when you're ready. Like, no, find out why they're saying no. It's not rude. Just say like, okay, girl, thanks. Can I ask why not? And like find out their reason. A lot of times like they're already doing Beachbody. They already have a coach, but they didn't say that. They just said like, no, thank you. And you're like, can I ask why not? And they're like, I actually already have a coach. It's like, perfect. I don't need to follow up with this person again. They already have a coach. Or if they say, yeah, actually I'm doing Weight Watchers. Then again, you're being that supportive person that Ashley was, like, oh my gosh, girl, how's that going? Like, what kind of results are you seeing? And then they're telling you and you're saying, I'm so glad you're finding something that works for you. Then when they're watching your stuff a month later and you go to their page to invite them and you see that you talked about Weight Watchers, you can say, hey girl, how's Weight Watchers going? And you can check in with them to see like if their routine's still working. And maybe they're like, oh my gosh, I've lost 50 pounds and it's been amazing and blah, blah, blah. And you can just continue to be that supportive person for them. Or they might say like, it didn't work and I'm ready to join your boot camp. So they might say that too. So you just have to like, again, it's not your decision if they say yes or no. It's your job to just make sure that you send the invite. So that's all I got. That's a lot of information, but I hope it was helpful.
No, Kate, that was so good. I'm over here, like, I was like, you know, obviously taking notes, and then tomorrow I leave for Florida, so I'm like, okay, this is what I have to do in the car. These are how my invites are going to go tomorrow, you know, because it's true, social media changes so fast. I also love that you shared not to use apps because, you know, or third-party tools and that kind of thing. Because I know it's tempting, guys. It's tempting to have those apps and have it grow for you, but you don't want to be that person that, and I've been there, you know, where you have people, you get thousands of followers and you're like, these are all bots, or they're all foreign people, or they're all weird guys, and none of them engage with your stuff. right? It's better to have a smaller account that's engaging more with you. So Kate, that was wonderful. Okay, so guys, I'm going to take about 5 minutes of questions. If you guys have questions, you can just unmute yourself and ask the question, okay? Hopefully you can unmute yourself. Let's see. This is always such the awkward part, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple. I'll address, there's 2.
Are they over here? Okay. So will you talk about your follow-up system for those who do accept more info?
Yeah, so I keep it really simple. You guys, you'll notice my business is like simple AF. Like,
That's perfect though.
Complicate it. I usually just say like, awesome, girl. Meg, I'll literally send you these. I'll just send you like what I send. But for like my boot camp right now, I say, awesome. So basically we just get you set up with a fitness and nutrition package that comes with workouts and nutrition guides and all that goodness. Plus it includes me as your coach and our accountability group to help you stay on track. How does that sound so far? So I give them like a brief overview of what a challenge group looks like, right? I'm not overcomplicating it. And they usually say, that sounds great, but how much? Or they say like, oh, that sounds awesome. I really struggle with nutrition or something like that. So then I say, I usually like customize the next line to whatever they said. So like, awesome. Oh my gosh, I totally struggled with nutrition too. Like still do to this day, but this has helped me so much. And then I say, I give 3 package options. So I always give 3 package options. Right now I'm sending, annual all access bod. So the 160 with just bod and Shakeology, and then the 160 basic UPF package. So basically if they want to focus on fitness, here's their bod. They want to focus on nutrition, here's UPF, and then 245 if they want both. So that's the UPF with Beachbody On Demand. And all I do is say like package 1, 160, and I bullet it out, like everything they get. Package 2, 160, bullet it out. Package 3, 245, all of the above. And then I say, which one sounds like a better fit for you? I don't say like, how does that sound? Or does that sound good for you? I say, which one of these sounds like a good fit for you? Or which one of these sounds like a better fit for you? And I've actually had a lot of people say like, I think I'd go for package number 1, but I'm going to have to wait until payday. So they pick an option and then they give me their objection. So they're kind of they're getting a little more invested than maybe when I used to say like, does that sound doable to jump in with us? It was like yes or no, instead of picking what package option sounds better. And this has just been trial and error and what's worked. This is what's working right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then if they have an objection is when I kind of dive into the objections. And I do this all through DMs on Instagram. I've tried to move people over to email and I do not get good conversion on email. But I think it depends on like your tribe too. Like I don't even look at my email. So my people definitely don't look at their email. So yeah, that's been working. Okay. I love this question. Real talk. Are you still inviting so many each day as a 7-star top 10 team? Yeah, I'm actually inviting 100 a day right now. So I personally never want to be the top coach that is not in the trenches. That's just not for me. I'm a hustler. Hustle is my love language. And if I'm asking my team to do something, I'm doing it too. So actually my team and I was challenged by one of my diamonds, she's one of my 1-stars. And she was like, I challenge you to sending 100 invites a day for the rest of the month. And I was like, really? Like my minimum is like 50. So I was like, really gonna double that? And so I was like, okay, fine. So her and I are doing this 100 a day challenge. And we invited like our team to do it with us. So we have like 20 people on my team doing 100 invites a day for the rest of April. And I don't mind sending invites. Like, again, like I think what we have to offer is a gift. And I'm going to share that with every single person. So yeah, I still send invites. I think there was a couple months where I didn't send invites. It was like straight attraction marketing and my SC numbers sucked compared to like what I can do when I send invites. And I also didn't feel like authentic to my team when I was like, you need to send your invites every day and I'm not sending them. So I think definitely pick a number that you can stay consistent with 7 days a week. There's been seasons of my business where I've, like when I was getting married, I was sending like 30 invites a day. Like it wasn't anything crazy. I was just trying to survive. And then there's been seasons of my business where I'm sending 100 a day. So it just really depends. But definitely, if I don't invite, I don't have a business. Where do you find 100 new people every day? So like I said, some of those people I've invited before, so they're not necessarily new. They are people I've maybe gotten invites before, but it is people watching my stories. If I run out of people watching my stories, because I've never run out of people watching my stories, but if I did, I would just go to my followers. And so that's why it's important for you guys to make sure you're also spending that 30 minutes a day growing and trying to organically grow your Instagram so that you can really like get enough people to invite. Because maybe you're like, girl, I'll send 100 invites a day, but like I don't have the people. Also Facebook. Like I get coaches all the time that are like, I only have 300 followers. And I'm like, yeah, but you have 700 friends on Facebook. So like you can't tell me that you ran out of people because you haven't even tapped into Facebook yet. So definitely a gut check. And also like your phone contacts. Like if you run out of people, you have a whole list of contacts in your phone. I bet you could go through there and find some people. So yeah.
That's so good. I love that you just said that too. Because there's even times, guys, 9.5 years in, that I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to find 100 people? But now I'm like, challenge accepted. Who wants to do it with me? Okay. Last question. I just saw Megan say, she said, how are you not losing people in like your massive list of invites each day if they stop responding?
I am. And I think you just like, there's just times where you're going to lose people. Like, and I think you have to kind of be okay, like have grace with yourself with that, because you can't possibly track every single person that's never responded to you. I can't even, like, there have been times where someone's messaged me back and Instagram has lost their message and I maybe never responded. There's times where you're going to lose people, but all you can do is your very best and make sure that you're trying. But we're all human and sometimes we lose people's messages. And you know, I'll find people where they've been watching my stories for like a year. They're like, yeah, I've been following you for like a year and a half and I'm super interested. And I've never sent them an invite. I'm like, how did I miss you? Or, you know, people that I've come across a lot lately where the last invite I sent them was literally a year ago. So like last April. I'm like, dang, how did I not send them another invite for the last, 12 months? But, if they're still watching your stories and they're still engaging in your stuff, then you're going to hopefully come across them eventually. But you also have to have grace with yourself that you're not always going to be able to keep track of everyone.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we need to hear that, right? Grace, you guys, grace. Just do the best that you can. All we have control over is our action. Okay, so let me turn this off.